Hello, everybody. Welcome to Happy
Hello.
Hour.
Hi guys. How are you?
So we're live from Korea and
And Finland, Helsinki. Hello.
yay. So today we wanted to talk a little bit about vulnerability and death, two topics that nobody really wants to talk about. Yay.
Yeah. Hey, it's the happy hour. We're talking about death, right? Yeah.
Exactly.
Crazy.
So
So
yeah,
yeah,
so
yeah, yeah.
oh,
So
go
so
ahead.
actually, being vulnerable is one of the biggest strengths there is, and it takes a lot if you show your vulnerability. But it also is something that's really touching. So, one thing, we were talking about recently is like, Kyla, you have been writing some amazing blogs in which you are actually pretty vulnerable. So how
Thank
how
you.
how is that? How is that? Why did you write those blogs?
Yeah, thank you so much for saying that. Well, there's a couple things, a couple events that inspired the blog posts, but one of the main things was, I was reading this book by Sheryl Sandberg and Adam Grant called Option B. And Sheryl Sandberg talks about how, actually writing is cathartic and it's helpful to you. And you think that people will judge you, but mostly people are really, really supportive. And so I'd wanted to write a blog for a while, and I was also inspired by my friend Nancy, who had told me, hey, you should write a blog. And so I did. And it really just
Yeah.
after I wrote that first blog post, I felt like a weight had been lifted, and I just felt like I was just showing my true self and who I really was. And something that I learned when I see a lot of my students posting online or other people posting on Facebook, I kind of worry that there's this big gap between this image that they think people want to see. So this image of perfect selfies,
Yeah.
perfect, 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 perfect. And so you're up here with your image that you are projecting, but your true self is here. So I think that Ilka and I kind of came up with this one thing of what we should do. Know thyself.
Yeah. That's such a great thing.
Yeah.
As a historian myself, I really love that word, and it comes, thousands of years ago. And, I do think that we humans are really powerful if we know who we are, and like really go deep inside. And there's like some strength that we don't even like understand yet. So the deeper you go towards who you are, and the more courage you have to like show it to the world, I think that's like something that can help others as well. And that's part of
Exactly.
being vulnerable, being truly who you are, and like communicating that with others.
Yeah, I totally agree. And then earlier, Ilka, you were talking about death. Do you want to explain that a little bit more?
Yeah. Hey, the sun is actually shining. It's not like some murky things, but since death is essential part of our lives, like no one, it's inevitable, right? So we all have to face it someday. So I was like recently thinking, like, since it will be there must be some meaning to it. It should be like the final episode of your life. So actually, should we celebrate death instead of like being afraid of it? Like, since it's there, it will, like, sooner or later the day will come when you die.
Hmm.
So like, why why is it such a why are people so afraid of it? And I know I myself, many times I'm like, hey, when I'm, it's natural to be afraid of death, but culturally I think that if we could like understand it as like the celebration part of life, like the final episode, that would be something, I think.
Right.
And
Yeah. And
yeah, please go on.
oh, no, no, no. I was just gonna say, and you also talked about in terms of a gift. do you think you could talk a little bit more about that too?
Sure. Yeah. So I had this idea that since life should like in life, the more we give to others, the more we actually get back. So what is life? Is life like learning how to give? And if it is, so could we think about it in a way that when we give things, or or compliments, or feelings away, if we give, then we get back. So what if life is like the final giving, and we give room for another life to be born, or something like that? So
Mm-hmm.
like life is learning how to give, and the final giveaway is your own life. Does it
Yeah.
make any sense?
So good. Yeah, I think a lot of Buddhism the Buddhist philosophy comes from, a karmic cycle, right? What you do in this life
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
will then determine who you become in your next life, if you believe in that or not. But really, I think that there's something to be said about giving. There's scientific research behind giving and making us more happy. But it
Yeah.
kind of goes back to, living in the moment, because we never know. We're just maybe one diagnosis away from dementia, or one diagnosis away from cancer.
Yeah,
And
that's
all
like
we
super
have.
yeah. And I think like the wisdom there is like appreciating every single moment you have in this life, and being totally 100% present in whatever
Yeah.
you do. Like I don't know, but there's like many books like Presence, like we've been talking about Amy Cuddy's Presence, and things like
Hmm.
that. But being present is actually something that you show appreciation to the life and the moments you have. So totally agreed. And one more thing, I'd like to share with the viewers is like you were talking about like being like being merciful to yourself, like, hey, I am enough, like everyone is enough. Would you like to share that to the viewers, Kyla?
Yeah. Oh, I have this that I put it up in my desk, so I look at it every day. But yeah, I think that there's a lot of judgment in life, and how we judge other people, which can be quite negative. And so I know I've definitely been on that. I'm definitely guilty of that, where I'll look at someone and be like, oh my gosh, look at that person. And this is going on in my head. So I think there's two layers to this. There's an external judgment where you're
Hmm.
externally judging others. And then there's an internal judgment where you're judging yourself. And that
Right.
internal judgment can be really harsh. I'll just speak for myself, because I can be really harsh.
Uh-huh.
So saying things to yourself like, I'm not good enough, I can't, I'm not good enough, I'm going to fail. And so rather than thinking those thoughts, you can combat them with a positive thought. Well, this is an
Hmm.
opportunity. If I can't do something, this is an opportunity for me to learn something, right? Rather than I can't, and then it's a downward spiral to nowhere good.
Yeah. So
What do you
change
think?
your thinking, change your life.
Yeah, change your thinking.
Yeah. Hey, I guess that's quite a lot of happiness and deep thoughts for this session.
Until
Hey,
next time, everybody.
right. Cheers, everyone. Bye bye.
Bye. Have a happy day.